Yes, you can absolutely train your brain so that even under heavy pressure it doesn't sprint back to the old bad autopilot. That isn't mystical grit or personality, it's resilience at the level of neurons learning to behave differently. Stress changes how your brain routes control, but routing can be retrained. Stress has a predictable neural signature. When you are under strong stress, chemistry floods the system. Noradrenaline, norepinephrine, ramps up arousal and vigilance. Dopamine shifts how the prefrontal cortex prioritizes and evaluates. Cortisol adjusts plasticity and makes circuits more reactive. Okay, let's understand this mechanism in depth. In the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for planning, restraint, and don't do that, mild stress can actually sharpen performance. But when stress gets high, the prefrontal cortex circuits become noisy and less precise. Meanwhile, older fast systems like the amygdala and basal ganglia, habit circuits, gain relative strength. So, the brain quietly shifts from top-down, conscious control, prefrontal cortex mode, to survival and habit autopilot, the amygdala plus the basal ganglia. That is why stress makes you snap, relapse, doom scroll, overeat, or God forbid you go to the hub or shut down like at the end. The higher order you, like the conscious you, the one who is listening right now, partially goes offline. But this default isn't destiny. The threshold for collapse is plastic. It can move. It's a muscle, bro. You can train it. Trust me. The prefrontal cortex can be trained to hold the line under stress. Every time you experience an urge, notice it. You don't act and choose a different response. You are firing and strengthening two key systems. Prefrontal cortex neurons, inhibition, pause, plan. This is like you, the conscious. This is the important part you have to work on. And new action circuits in the basal ganglia. Repeated together, the synapses strengthen through long-term potentiation. Gradually, the chain shifts from the old habit, from the old self, from stress to the old habit, to stress, prefrontal cortex activation, to the new habit. This isn't metaphor, it is wiring. And there is a crucial detail. Context matters. Here is the most important part in this whole video. If you only practice self-control when you are calm, or when you are calm or you are relaxed in your room, the circuitry becomes state dependent. That means it only works at rest, but collapses under pressure or stress, and you don't want that. Practicing under mild, moderate stress, like realistic rehearsal, graded exposure, or real-world challenges, teaches your prefrontal cortex to fire even when noradrenaline or cortisol are elevated. That shifts its firing threshold so control remains online deeper into the stress zone. It's the neural reason athletes practice under pressure and exposure therapy works. And here is the most important detail or the most important phrase or sentence in this whole video. The most important thing is your belief. If you believe that you under stress you collapse or you cannot control yourself under stress, then that is what's going to happen, right? But if you believe in the opposite, then that's exactly what's going to happen also as well. It's all about belief. It's all about belief. You are what you believe you are. Simple and easy. Hear me out, bro. The real win is changing what autopilot means. Right now, your brain might default to the old habit. So when a stress happens, the amygdala panic, then the old habit happens again or occur or activate. But with enough repetition of a different first step, you can replace it with the stress happens, cue awareness, then the new automatic response happens or activates. Here are some examples of the new autopilot. As an example, when the stress happens, you pause and you take a breath. You step outside, if you are, as an example, inside the home. You text a friend. You journal. You wait 10 minutes, or you remove your body. At the neural level, the sensation of stress becomes the new cue. A replacement circuit fires before the old one. Dopamine rewards the alternative when it works. The old habit weakens from underuse. You are not fighting the urge anymore. You are remapping where stress leads. Biology guarantees that under severe overload, the prefrontal cortex performance drops, but how fast and how far it collapses are trainable variables. With repetition, your prefrontal cortex stays functional longer under pressure. Your amygdala overreacts less. Your body's stress response becomes something you can regulate. Inhibitory networks remain active instead of going offline instantly. So you don't become immune to stress, you develop a better autopilot. So understand it like this in this binary form. Before training, I am stressed and the worst habits take over. After training, I am stressed, but here's what's different, and my healthier defaults take over. Still automatic, the same. Simply for the unconscious mind, for your body, it's the same exact thing. It cannot tell a difference. Just wiser. Meta habits make the system robust. Some people deliberately build first step habits like, when stress hits, first I breathe. That's a very good one to do and to start with. It's easy. When I want to relapse, I message someone, like someone you trust or someone you love or someone who cares about you. When I feel rage, I leave the room. These become stress-linked triggers for the new neural sequences. Repeat them often enough and the brain treats them as the default emergency protocol. The old stress habit loop gets interrupted earlier and earlier until its activation fails to reach threshold. The original system doesn't disappear. Zooming out, the pattern you are noticing is the real law here. Repeated resistance strengthens inhibitory control. Repeated suppression weakens the old habit. Dopamine rewards whatever becomes the new solution. Practice determines what stress will trigger in the future. This is not motivational fluff, it is synaptic economics. Like, it's real, it's biological, it's not motivation or some theory or woo. No, it's like real, it's literally what happens inside your brain, like the hardware aspect of it. Circuits that fire together more win more. Remember our rule? Remember our lovely rule? Neurons that fire together wire together. And circuits that starve decay, simply die. You remain a stressed, squishy biological being, but you can train which network stress recruits. Over time, your brain learns a better reflex. And when resilience becomes wired in, it stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like you. So it simply becomes the new you, the new program that runs automatically instead of the old self.